So hello students, welcome back, and we are going to start today with new chapter, that is single phase motors. It is chapter number 12th, and we have completed already transformers chapter number 11. It is quite lengthy chapter, it was quite lengthy chapter, but rather than that, it is very important chapter for your scoring point of view, because it has many questions and it has a lot of weightage than compared to other chapters. So do that chapter very well if you want to score in second section, because the chapters are quite tough and it is easy also if you will clear all the concepts. So do lectures regularly, so that just you have to spend at least 30 minutes. I'm not making that lengthy lectures also, just spend that 30 minutes, and at the last in your exam period before 1 month you can start your studies. So just do lectures regularly, it is nothing difficult in that to score. So we will start with new chapter, and if you have any doubts in transformer lecture, any kind of doubts in numericals, especially because numericals are things that will score you out of marks, so just focus on numericals and theory part also. So if you have any doubts in that lecture, you can ask for that doubts also anytime. So we'll start with single phase motor. This is chapter number 12. So we will see first of all introduction. In introduction we will see where they are used. Okay, so first we use a single phase power system more widely than three phase system. So single phase and three phase, so we have learnt it already, single phase and three phase, right? In our homes we get single phase supply. Okay, now this a single phase, in this paragraph they have compared it with a three phase motors, right? We have single phase motor and three phase motor, so we are dealing with single phase motor in this chapter, how they work. So we use a single phase power system more widely than three phase system for domestic purposes, commercial purposes and some extent in industrial uses. That means over the single phase or over the three phase we use a single phase more in our domestic, that is in our household uses, in agriculture purposes, or in some small industries also we require single phase system or single phase motor is used over the three phase system. Because why we use this single phase system in domestic, commercial and industrial uses? Because single phase system is more economical. What does it mean by economical? That common people or more people can afford it, right? And it is very easy to use. So single phase system is more economical than three phase system. Power requirement is most of the houses, shops, offices, which can be easily made by single phase system. So as I told you, in our houses we get single phase supply, and it is very easy or it is very economical for us to use a single phase over three phase system. So the single phase motors are simple in construction. So the construction of single phase motors are very simple, cheap in cost, that means it is affordable to common man also, reliable and easy to repair and maintain. So if there is any fault occurred, then we can repair it, right? And it is reliable, that means it is trustworthy, we can reliable on that single phase motors. Okay, due to all the advantages, due to these advantages over three phase motor, that it is affordable, it is cheap, it is easy to repair, due to all these advantages, single phase motor finds in application, that means it has huge applications in our home or all the equipments in our home. So where it is used, applications, it is used in vacuum cleaners. So in vacuum cleaners we use this single phase motor. Fans, in fans, our fans we use a single phase motor. Washing machines, in washing machines also we use single phase motor. Centrifugal pumps, in pumps also we use the single phase motor and blowers, etc. So this was the quick introduction over the three phase. That means as compared to three phase, we use a single phase in domestic, commercial and industrial ways. Why? Because it is more economical than three phase. Its construction is cheap, that is simple, and it is cheap in cost, reliable and easy to repair. So where it is used, advantages you have to remember: washing machines, vacuum cleaner, fans, right, blowers, centrifugal pumps. Now we are dealing with single phase motors, right? Single phase motors. What does it mean by single phase? That means these motors, basically this motors, single phase motors will work on single phase AC supply, right? Three phase motors, they will work on three phase AC supply. So here the first point is what? These motors works on single phase AC supply. Clear? This point is clear. These motors works on single phase AC supply. So what is the main part of motor? What are the main parts? For any motor, the main part is stator part and rotor part. So here, so this is our motor. So students who are new, so this is the rotor part, this is the rotor part, and this is the stator part. Okay, so this is the rotor and this is the stator. So we will see what are the main parts, stator and rotor. So the part which is stationary, so the name itself says stator, that is stationary part is called as stator. Clear? That means the part which is stationary, which do not rotate, which is stationary, is called as stator. So the stator part is called as stationary part is called as stator. Single phase winding is put in stator slots. So here you can see these are the slots. That means it has some spacing, right? Here you can see these are the slots. So in these slots, winding is placed. Now we are dealing with single phase motors, right? So in this stator slot, stator winding, that is single phase stator winding is placed. Clear with this? So in this single phase stator, or in this stator, single phase winding is put in the stator slots. Where we will put the single phase stator winding? In stator slots. Stator is made of silicon steel stamping. So we have learned the stamping part in transformer. So here our stator is made of silicon steel stamping. So this is our stator and it has slots, that is called as stator slots, and in these slots winding is placed. Which winding? Stator winding is placed. Single phase winding, that means single phase winding is placed in our stator slots. Now going to the rotor. So clear about stator. So stator is stationary part, right? Stator is stationary part and single phase winding is put in stator slots. Stator is made of silicon steel stamping. So this is about stator part. Now we will go to the rotor part because it has two parts, main parts, stator and rotor. Now rotor, as the name says rotor, that means rotating part. Okay, so the part in motor which is rotating, okay, rotating part which is made of steel stamping is called as rotor. Okay, rotating part, the name itself says rotating, rotor. So rotating part which is made of steel stamping is called as rotor. Rotor has slots on its periphery in which rotor conductors are put. So here this is the rotor and it also has slots in which we have to put the rotor winding. Okay, so the rotor conductor, or it is called as conductor also, right? So the rotor has slots in which rotor conductors are put. Rotor is fitted on the shaft. So this is the shaft. Here you can see this is the shaft. So this is the rotor and this particular is inserted in this. Okay, so clear about stator and rotor. So stator is stationary part, rotor is rotating part. So in introduction you have to write this part also. Rotor is fitted on the shaft, right? These motors are not self-starting. So everything about this is clear. Now we will see this. So this single phase motor is not self-starting. What does it mean by self-starting? We will see it. These motors are not self-starting because when single phase voltage is given to the windings, the only alternating flux is produced. Okay, so we are giving the single phase supply to the winding, right? Now consider this is winding. Okay, so what will happen? We are giving the single phase supply. So here single phase voltage will be created, right? And the current will flow through this winding. Okay, now what will happen? Here alternating flux is created, right? Here alternating flux is created, and due to that alternating flux, alternating torque will be produced. And what we require rotating flux, we require rotating torque, or we require rotating flux. Why? Because we have to rotate that rotor, right? Rotor is part which is not stationary, rotor rotates, right? And we have to rotate that rotor. But in single phase, what we are dealing with? Single phase supply. But single phase supply is alternating, it produces alternating flux, and we don't want alternating flux, we want rotating flux. So our single phase, or this motor, single phase motor is not self starting, right? Clear? Why? Because we require rotating flux, but here due to single phase supply we are getting alternating flux. Due to that our rotor will not rotate. What we need to do? We need to get a rotating flux, right? So because of that rotating flux our rotor will rotate. But here in this single phase motor, what is happening? Alternating flux is produced. So our rotor, it will not move in this direction, it will not move in circular, it will move in this, it will move in this direction. We need rotating flux, but it is alternating, so it will move in this direction, right? This will move in this direction. So for that what we have to do? We have to produce rotating flux. So if this is also possible, if we will provide the starting, if we will push this rotor in this way, then it will move in rotating, but it is not possible physically, right? Whenever we'll turn on the motor and we are not able to, or it is not possible to push this rotor every time, right? So there are some arrangements. So for creating rotating flux, there is some different methods, right? We will see that different methods. So important thing is what? Our single phase motor is not self-starting. Why? Because we get a single phase supply, and from the single phase supply current will flow through our winding and alternating flux is created. But we require a rotating flux, and that is not happening in our motor, right? To get that rotating flux, we use the different methods. These motors are not self-starting because when single phase voltage is given to the winding, then only alternating flux is produced. It is not rotating flux. For creating rotating flux, different methods are employed. So are you getting the point why our single phase motor is not self-starting? Self-starting means what? It will not start by its own. We have to give some external torque, right? We have to give some external rotating force to rotate, right? So here we cannot go physically and give the force, right, to rotate. So once we will give the force, then it will rotate by its own, right? But it is not possible. So we have to give some different methods. So we will learn that. So these are classified into this: split phase motor, capacitor motor, shaded pole type motor. Now we will first see the split phase motor. So as I told you, single phase motor is not self-starting. So what we have to do? We have to make it self-start, right? So here you can see the diagram of split phase motor. So here there are two windings. Okay, so we will see first the diagram. So this is the phasor diagram, we will see it, and this is the split phase motor, that is split phase motor. So here it has basically two windings. Okay, so first one is running winding and another one is starting winding. Okay, so this is also called as main winding, right? So this running winding is called as main winding. This is important. It may be asked in your MCQs. So running winding is nothing but the main winding, and this starting winding. So this is the starting winding and it is called as auxiliary winding. So it is also called as auxiliary winding. So it has two windings, running winding, that is main winding, and starting winding or auxiliary winding. Clear? It has two windings. Here centrifugal switch is connected, right? Here centrifugal switch is connected. Now we will see what happens. So this motor will work on single phase supply, right? Single phase supply, and we know single phase winding. So this we have provided here, single phase winding. This is called as main winding. So whenever the current will flow through this winding, what will happen? Flux will be produced, right? Flux will be created. But here we need two fluxes, right? To create a rotating field, what we need? We need two fluxes. So what we have did here, we have placed the two windings. What we will get? We will get two fluxes. Instead of one flux, we will get two fluxes because of these two windings, right? So another winding called as starting winding. So this is the starting winding, or it is called as auxiliary winding, in series with the switch. So here you can see the switch. In series with switch, it is connected, right? So here you can see this is the main winding and this is the starting winding, and starting winding is connected in series with switch. So here in this split phase motor, what we did? So what we have did here, single phase supply. Now current will come. Now single phase supply current will flow through the windings, right? But here, from here, the current will get splitted, right? The current will split. That means the current will go in this main winding and it will go in starting winding, right? So the current will split, right? It will split. That means it will go in main winding and starting winding. So this is also called as split phase motor. So our current is splitting in starting winding and main winding. So it is called as a split phase motor. So here, due to this two currents flowing in the two windings, what will happen? Two fluxes are produced. And these two windings are placed in particular way that they have some phase displacement, right? They will have some phase displacement, and due to this fluxes, that is these two fluxes, what will happen? Rotating field or rotating flux will be created, right? We have splitted single phase into two phase. Are you getting? We have splitted here single phase into two phase. So it is called as split phase motor. Split phase motor. So we will see the construction. So this is the constructional details. Stator. So we have already learned about stator. Stator, it is made of silicon steel stampings having slots. So it has a slots, stator has slots in which two windings are kept. As I told you, our motor has two windings, okay? So it has two windings, that is main winding and starting winding. And this you can see here, it is rotor, right? This is rotor and this is stator part. And in stator there are two windings. It is one is called as running winding and second is called as starting winding. These are placed 90 degree electrically apart. So these windings are placed 90 degree electrically apart. Starting winding is of high resistance and low reactance. So this is important. So this starting winding. So this is our starting winding. So this winding has high resistance, right? It has high resistance and low reactance. Or otherwise additional resistance is connected in series with the starting winding. So here you can see additional resistance is also attached with the series in the starting winding. So construction you have to write on the diagram itself. So these two windings are in these windings are done in stator part and this is our rotor. And running winding is of low resistance and high inductive reactance. So this is just opposite to this. Starting winding is high resistance and low reactance, and running winding is low resistance and high inductive reactance. So this is about the construction. And now rotor. Rotor has cylindrical structure having rotor conductors in the slots. Rotor is made of silicone steel stamping. It is fitted on the shaft. So we have already learned. So this is the rotor. This circular part is rotor, which is going to rotate in this direction, right? And it is made of silicone steel stamping. Now centrifugal switch. So centrifugal switch is also provided. So this is the centrifugal switch. I hope the construction is clear to you. So we'll go again through it. So in construction, in stator part, we have two windings. In stator, there are two windings. One is main winding, or it is called as running winding, and second one is starting winding, or it is called as auxiliary winding. In starting winding, centrifugal switch is attached in series, resistance is also attached in series. Now the starting winding, resistance is high, inductance is low, and opposite to it, in main winding, resistance is low and inductance is high, inductive reactance is high in the running winding, or it is also called as main winding. Okay. Now rotor is cylindrical. Here you can see this is our rotor. It is placed on the shaft. Clear? This is all about the construction. Now we will see the working. Now here, to get rotating flux, we require rotating flux. Already we have discussed. We require rotating flux. So what we have did here to get rotating flux, we have splitted this. We have splitted our windings. That is, we have placed two windings, right? So why we require the starting winding? To get our rotating flux, or our rotor must start rotating by itself. So we have placed here starting winding, right? So whenever we will see further. So this is also diagram you can draw. So this is our single phase supply we have given here. This is single phase winding, right? But what we have did, we have splitted the stator windings in two parts. This is main winding and this is the starting winding. And in series with it, this is the switch, centrifugal switch, and this is resistance, and this is our rotor. So you can draw this diagram also. So now we will see the working. This motor is also called as resistor start induction motor, right? Why this is called resistor start? Because we have attached here resistor with series with the starting winding, right? So it is also called as resistor start induction motor. Starting winding is also called as auxiliary winding, right? It at the time of starting, centrifugal switch S is on. So whenever we turn on the motor, at the time of starting, whenever we start the motor, at the time of starting, the switch is on. That means it is closed, right? It is closed. So what will happen? The starting winding is also in our circuit, right? Whenever, and what will happen? The centrifugal switch is on. Current flow will get divided into two windings, right? So the current from here, current will come here and it will get divided in this part also and this part also, right? So the current flowing through the main winding is called as IM, and current flowing through this starting winding is called as IS. Okay, starting winding and running winding. IM taken by the main winding. So here we have mentioned here main winding. So the the current from main winding is IM, and it is lagging nearly by 90 degrees as the coil is more inductive. We will see this part afterwards while discussing the phasor diagram. Now here the current is got divided into two windings, right? So first in that starting winding and another in main winding. So what will happen? Two fluxes are produced. So here what happens? Our single phase motor, it behaves like two phase motor. Why? Because here two phases are created, right? We have created here two phases. So what will happen now? Rotating flux will also produced. Because of these two fluxes, rotating flux is produced and rotor begins to rotate, right? Because of these two fluxes, our rotating flux is produced, and due to that rotating flux, our rotor will start rotating by itself. Our motor was not self-starting, right? To make the motor self-start, what we have did here, we have splitted this phases, right? We have converted our single phase into two phase, right? These are the two phases, and due to these two fluxes, rotating flux is created, and due to that our rotor will rotate. When motor reaches 70 to 80% of full speed, so whenever our motor will rotate and it will reach to 70 to 80% of speed, whenever this rotor speed is achieved, our motor speed is achieved, then what will happen? This centrifugal switch will is operated and the starting winding is electrically disconnected. That means what? This switch is on at the starting, right? So whenever in the starting this switch is on, these two phases will come in our picture, right? So there are two fluxes created, and due to that fluxes, rotating field is created, and due to that rotating field our rotor will also rotate. So whenever our motor will reach its 70 to 80% of speed, then what will happen? This centrifugal switch which was on, it will become off. That means it will disconnect. So due to that our starting winding will get disconnected. So here in the centrifugal switch is operated and starting winding is electrically disconnected. Now this winding will get disconnected and our motor will work on this main winding only. So what is the use of this starting winding? To make the motor self start, we use this starting winding. I hope everything is clear. So in some cases, instead of this centrifugal switch, relay is provided for the same purpose. This is for small capacity motors. Now its starting torque is about 1.5 times the full load torque. So torque means what? It is measure of the rotating force, right? The force which will tend to rotate about its axis, right? So here starting torque is 1.5 times the full load torque. So applications, we have already seen its application. So the range is 1/20 HP to 1/3 HP. So the range, this is the range, and speed, what is the speed? The speed range is from 865 to 2800 RPM. What are the drawbacks of this motor? It has low starting torque, as we discussed. It has low starting torque and it takes very high starting current. The current which is taken is very high. So starting winding, if not disconnected, so we have discussed in the working. So what happens during starting? This switch is on and starting winding is also there, but whenever our motor gets 70 to 80% of speed, this switch becomes automatically off, and due to that starting winding is disconnected, right? But in any case, if this starting winding will not get disconnected, then what will happen? If it remains due to any failure of operation of centrifugal switch, that means if our centrifugal switch will not operate and our starting winding will not get disconnected, then what will happen? There will be vibrations produced and winding losses are produced. That means there will be some kind of losses and more motor becomes hot, right? It will become hot. So whenever our motor gets the speed 70 to 80%, what must be happen? This switch must get off and this winding must get disconnected. But if it will not happen, then there will be winding losses and our motor will become hot. So this is about the working. And moving to this phasor diagram. So here what we have discussed, we will take the reference as this supply voltage. So this is our supply voltage. We will take this as reference, right? Now here starting winding is highly resistive, right? We have already discussed starting winding. So this is starting winding. It is highly resistive. If it was purely resistive, then this is the phasor diagram of the current of the starting winding. But now it is highly resistive. So what will happen? Highly resistive means it will lag the voltage. So this is the voltage. It will lag the voltage by some angle. So we have drawn here the vector of IS, that is starting winding current. We have mentioned it is highly resistive, so it will lag by this voltage. We have taken this voltage as reference. It will lag this voltage by some angle, right? Is. But if it will be purely resistive, then it will be in phase. But it is highly resistive, it will come here, right? So this is the Is. Now we will move to the Im, that is main winding. So here our main winding is how it is. It is highly inductive, right? It is highly inductive, so it will lag by 90 degree. If it was purely inductive, then it will lag by 90 degree, but it is highly inductive, so it will have some angle. So this is our Im, right? Now what we want the current, total current. So how we will get the total current from this? So we know this too, right? After drawing the parallelogram, here is the phasor I, that is total current, right? And this is the angle. This is the angle alpha. It is rotating torque. Alpha is nothing but the rotating torque. So this is all about the split phase motor. If you have any doubts, you can ask.